Have you ever wondered what makes certain individuals successful? The bits and pieces that they are implementing in their life that get them ahead of majority of people. Now, although the idea of being successful varies from person to person, there are some underlying habits that these individuals implement on a daily basis that set the foundation for their success. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 habits that after researching I feel are the most beneficial, and also provide you with tips that once you start implementing into your daily routine will change your life for the better. Before we start, I want you to take a moment to reflect in your life what your current habits are, where you are now and where you wish to be in the future. Maybe you spend too much time on games or TV shows and don't spend enough time studying or on work. Or maybe you get too focused on certain activities and forget to exercise. Or maybe you really don't know what or where you want to be in the future at all and are living in the moment day after day. If so, then don't worry, this is all completely normal, so don't beat yourself up over it. And I totally understand that it does take a lot of willpower to implement new habits, as I'm in the process of doing it myself. The idea behind forming any habit is that you start slow initially, and as long as you are being consistent and making sure that you improve over time, then the habit will naturally form. With all that being said, let's dive into these 5 habits. The first habit of successful people is that they start their day earlier. This is a strategy that allows them to get a head start before the daily challenges begin. So by doing this, you'd get more time to yourself to do the things that you would love to do. So you can spend it on a variety of different things. For example, you can spend it on working out, you could get a healthy breakfast in, you could even do some reading or even get some quality meditation in. It's all totally up to you how you wish to spend that time. Not to mention the physical, mental and emotional benefits that it all has, which I will list on the side over here. Now let me share with you some ways that might help you to get up a bit earlier. So one of the first things you want to do is create a bedtime routine. Now this starts by establishing a calming bedtime routine that just helps you to wind down at the end of the day. So this might include reading, meditation, or you just might want to have a warm bath at the end of the day. Next, you want to minimize your screen time usage. Now you want to try and reduce the exposure to the lights that you get from these screens. So this includes just devices such as phones, computers, and even tablets, at least an hour before bedtime. A study from Harvard University suggested that blue light suppressed the melatonin for about twice as long as green light did and shifted the circadian rhythms by twice as much. So you're comparing 3 hours to 1.5 hours. And for those of you who don't know, melatonin is the hormone that is responsible for your sleep. And the last tip on this matter is that you want to make sure that you are optimizing your sleeping environment. So you want to make sure that your room is conducive enough to rest. So this may include getting a nice blanket, getting a good mattress, making sure that the temperature of the room is good enough, and also you want to make sure that it is very dark. So if you haven't considered it, maybe it might be time to get some blackout curtains for your room. The second habit of successful people is that they exercise regularly. Exercise is known to help you with a variety of different things, such as your brain health and your memory. It helps increase your energy levels, it helps with your skin health, and overall it just makes you feel a lot better because of your hormone levels. They just go very high. Even Richard Branson in one of his blogs said that he wouldn't have been as successful in his career and happy in his personal life if he hadn't placed a lot of emphasis and importance on his health and fitness. Now this doesn't have to be a vigorous 2-hour session every single day. You just want to start establishing a regimen that works best for you and your routine, and most importantly one that you can actually stick to and make sure that you see progress in. Here are a few tips that can help you to get started with working out. First, you want to set clear goals. Now you want to start by defining your fitness goals because there are so many out there. Whether it is wanting to lose weight, build more muscle, whether that's to increase your endurance, or you just want to simply stay active. By having a clear objective, it will help you to choose the right exercises and activities that work best for you and your body. Next, you want to try creating automatic triggers. Now triggers are basically reminders that you set for yourself, and this could be a variety of different things. This could be cues such as a specific time and place that starts your exercise routine, so you don't have to think too much about it. For example, when your alarm goes off in the morning, it might be a signal that you need to get up and go for a walk. Research has shown that people who exercise regularly use different triggers to help them, and I am an example of this myself. I like to use triggers as a way for me to get out of the house and make sure I get my workout in the day. And finally, you want to make sure you are thinking outside of the gym. So if you're someone who feels that the gym environment is totally not for you, that's okay. Pick some activities that you feel work best for you, whether that's different things such as gymnastics, playing sports, or even doing martial arts. This is more likely to keep your exercise sessions enjoyable and help you to stay motivated motivated. After, we have the next habit of successful people, which involves reading a lot, because people see this as a way to gain more knowledge so that they can improve their lives and grow their own businesses. But reading doesn't always have to be just for learning. You can definitely do it as a leisurely thing and just a way to get away from everything else. Reading can strengthen your brain, build up your vocabulary, and apparently it even helps you to live longer. So why not consider starting your reading habits with the following tips. Firstly, you want to choose books that you are generally interested in. Think about all the different types of genres that are out there, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, whether it's an autobiography of a famous person, and may I say, even if it's manga in the beginning, and once you develop a good habit of reading, then you can move on to something else that is a bit more beneficial to you. It's totally up to you. Next, you want to set a specific time for reading. So this could be before bed for about 20 to 30 minutes, or even when you wake up as part of your morning routine. You want to pick a time that you can actually stick with. Don't overwhelm yourself, and pick a time frame that you can actually stick to so that it can be repeated every day. Finally, you want to remove any distractions. So as mentioned before, this could be your TV, your phones, your tablets, and you want to make sure that you are immersing yourself in the content. Also, as part of helping you to get more reading time in and spending time on things that you enjoy, you can totally remove these distractions and not use them, because a lot of time does go to waste when you are using these devices. The fourth habit of successful people is that they surround themselves with the right people. This allows them to absorb everything that's around them in their environment, and whether that is adopting other people's mannerisms, their habits, even their choice of words. No one has the answers to everything, so if you are surrounding yourself with people that allow you to learn from them, then that's the environment that you want to put yourself into, and this will also help you get further in your individual ventures. Let me now share with you some tips that can assist you in developing these habits. Firstly, you want to make sure you're being selective. Be careful with the type of people you let into your life, but if you do come into contact with someone who shares the same values, ideals with you, and the same visions as you, then I would recommend that you establish a good relationship with them. Approach them and ask them different questions. This will help you get a better understanding of what they are like as a person and if you generally vibe with them. Next, you want to try and attend networking events. Now, for some of you, networking with new people can be a very difficult thing to do, so maybe try and consider taking someone along with you, someone you trust and someone that's going to help you. Or it might actually be time to muster up the courage and put yourself out there in front of all those people, because this is one of the best ways that you can learn to interact and talk with people. But for those of you who can actually go out and interact with others, I would recommend researching online and see if there is a place close to you that is hosting any events that is of interest to you. For example, I live in the UK and there is a website called Eventbrite that has a variety of different events that you can attend. Some of them are quite expensive, but others are much cheaper and sometimes even free. So I would generally just recommend to all of you doing your research and seeing if you can find an event that's close to you, and if you are willing to go down this road, then attend as many of them as you can. And finally, you want to make sure that you are distancing yourself from negative people. As important as it is surrounding yourself with the right people, I would say it's probably just as important, or maybe even more crucial, distancing yourself from negative people. The ones that are negative towards you, your ideals and your visions. You totally want to distance yourself from these people. When it comes to family, it is a bit more difficult, but when it comes to friends and acquaintances, then don't hesitate. You want to just remove these type of people from your life. Your health and well-being are way more important than unsupportive people, so you want to protect it as much as you can. And finally, the last habit of successful people I want to share with you is that they always pursue their goals. You can do all the planning and organizing in the world, but if it is followed by little to no action, then sadly you just won't achieve your goals. You really want to make sure that you are putting the legwork in. The path to success is definitely one that is filled with a lot of difficulties and challenges and a lot of failures as well. But if you are willing to charge ahead and overcome these obstacles, learn from your mistakes and your failures, then I reckon in time you will attain your goals. You just have to believe it, and you have to make sure that you're always working hard towards them. Here are the last set of tips that I want to share with you that will help you to pursue your goals. Firstly, you want to make sure you are setting clear goals. Now, I did make a video on this last week, so if you would like to know more and watch that video, then I would recommend you checking it out over here, and I will also leave a link to it in the description below. Next, you want to manage your time. There is only so much time in the day, and if you are wasting it on activities or things that are not going to help you get closer towards your goals, then you really need to start rethinking your priorities. A second wasted is a time that is never going to come back. So you really want to make sure that you are spending it on things that are actually going to help you and benefit you in getting further in your life. Consider making a timetable that consists of all of the things that you like to do in the week. And finally, you want to break your goals into smaller goals. Sometimes the goals that you set can be quite overwhelming, especially if you are thinking big, but don't let that be a put off to you. Break your goals up into as many smaller manageable goals as necessary, and make sure that you don't give up and you are always working hard to achieve your goals. Now that I have shared the 5 habits of successful people with you, you are now equipped to start taking action as soon as possible. I would suggest focusing on one habit at a time. Give yourself a few weeks, and once you have actually adjusted to the habit and you are consistently doing it, then move on to the next one. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to take on as many of the habits as possible, because that will just lead to failure. Give each one of them their due time and attention. You will start to notice big changes in your life, ones that you thought you probably couldn't make, and it will make you feel so good, and it will keep you motivated to keep pursuing your goals. And remember, successful people are just like you and me. They're normal people, but what they've done is that they've allowed their good habits to accumulate their efforts over a long period of time that then leads to their success. The good news is though that any one of us can become successful, and the time to take action for that is now. If you have enjoyed the video and found it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could like it, share it with someone who could benefit from it, and subscribe to the channel. And also feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below and let me know what habits you have implemented so far in your life, and what are the new habits that you would also like to implement in your life so that you can get closer to whatever goal you are trying to achieve. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.